Are you ready to knit your very first garment, but you don't want it to take forever? Don't worry, I got you. I'm Marley Bird, your by Crafty bestie. I'm going to show you how. Let's go.
Show me love, show me love. This is all we got. Show me love.
Hello there, friends, and welcome to the Lorelai Knit Vest video. I am so excited you are joining me on this journey to make this super cute and very simple knit vest. This vest is made in pieces, just two simple little pieces, and we make it from the bottom all the way to the top. If you can knit, if you can purl, cast on, and bind off, I can help you with everything else along the way to make this super cute vest. What I need you to do first is grab that pattern. It is available free on my website, or you could upgrade to the ad-free PDF. You'll find the link right down there in the video description box below. You'll also need to gather your materials, which includes worsted weight yarn and 2 sets of size 8 circular needles, at least 32 inches long. We are not working in the round. We are using the circular needles as straight needles, but we want the circulars to accommodate the number of stitches we are going to use. After you have those needles, you want to make sure you do have stitch markers, and plenty of them. You will use them all the way throughout your vest. Once you have all of that, go ahead and join me back here. I'll get you started with that long tail cast on and jumping right into that 2x2 ribbing. Aware that not everybody knows how to do the long tail cast on, so I want to take a minute and show you how to do this really useful cast on and put it on your circular needles. Now, just a reminder, these circular needles, we will be using them as straight needles. So if you want to use straight needles, you can. I'm placing the slip knot directly onto my knitting needle. You want to make sure that the tail yarn is going to be over your thumb and the working yarn is over your finger. We're going to separate the two pieces just like so. So this here is my tail. This here is my working yarn. It's attached to the ball of yarn. And I position my hands so it's like a slingshot. I make sure I hold the loop that is on my knitting needle. That does count as 1 stitch. So to do the second stitch, we're going to start down here at the palm of our hand, right down here at the base of the thumb. Go up the thumb, swivel around to the top of the finger, go down the finger. You have a hole, like a window right here that we've created with this thumb. Swing the knitting needle through that window. Now you have 2 stitches on your needle. Let the yarn fall off your thumb and give it a tug. Okay, we're going to do that again. We reset for the slingshot, up the thumb, down the finger, through the window, off the thumb. Up the thumb, down the finger, through the window, off the thumb. Up the thumb, down the finger, through the window, off the thumb. We will continue doing this until you have the number of stitches you need for the size you are making. I will tell you it is very, very helpful if you want to make sure that you're keeping track of how many stitches you are doing, is to put a stitch marker every 20th stitch. So right here, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Okay, so then I would grab a marker and put it right here. So I don't have to go back and count these 20 stitches again as I continue on. Markers are going to be your friend with this project, so make sure you do have markers with you. And go ahead and continue to cast on. Once you get all the stitches cast on for this portion, go ahead and get them cast on for the other portion. So if this is the back, go ahead and cast on for the front. It's the same number of stitches, so you're going to do the exact same thing. Go ahead. Okay, so I have the total number I need for the size I am making. This is where I would cut my tail, right? So I'm going to cut my tail, leaving myself at least 5 to 6 inches. Now that we have all the stitches on our first needle, go ahead and get that second ball of yarn and the second set of needles and cast on the same number of stitches on the second needle. That way we can have the front and the back of your vest working at the same time. Okay, once you get the same number of stitches on the second needle, once again, you will want to cut your yarn. Make sure you leave yourself a nice long tail. And if you have a remaining bit of yarn that was coming out from the center of your ball, just save this. We can use this for seaming later. So don't throw this out. We could use that for seaming. So this is just, you're ahead of the game for your seaming. Okay. It's at this point, so you have the front and the back cast on. And what you are going to do is continue on working in a 2x2 ribbing. We will begin with the wrong side and we will start with 2 knits. So it'll be 2 knits and then purl 2, knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, and you will end with 2 purls. When you get to the right side, you'll begin with 2 purls, go knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2, and end with 2 knits. This is going to leave the bottom of your vest where we leave the ribbing vent open with these 2 purls at either, like the 2 purls at either end, and it looks really nice. So let's go ahead, let's jump into the ribbing. I'm going to show you how to do that just in case you've never done it before. I want to make sure I'm holding your hand the whole way. Here we go. So this is the back side of my long tail cast on, and I'm going to jump into my 2x2 ribbing. So I will start off with a knit 2, and this is the wrong side. You will get to know your right side and wrong side very well with this pattern. And then we purl 2, knit 2, knit 1, knit 2, purl 1, purl 2. Okay, we're just going to do this all the way down the row in case you haven't done ribbing before. Maybe you've been familiar with knits and purls, but you've never done them in the same row before. As you transition from a purl to a knit, you always have to move your yarn between your needles. So right here, I'm on 2 knits. Okay, and then bring my yarn between my needles to the front. And this is where I do 2 purls. Now we do not want twisted knits or twisted purls. So we do want to make sure that our stitches are mounted correctly on our needle for the way we knit. If you're a combination knitter, you understand that you will have to knit through the back leg because you purl differently than the English style knitters. But if you don't want to think too much about it, essentially what you want to make sure you're doing is if you're purling, as you put your needle in here to purl, don't go under your needle like this, okay? Because that will mount your stitch differently. Go over top, just like that. Go over top, pop it out and off. Over top, out and off. Between the needles and carry on. You always move your yarn between your needles before you go into the stitch. Otherwise, you will get an accidental yarn over. We don't want one of those. No need to have any advanced skills here with some increases. We just want to keep very simple here with 2 knits and 2 purls. Okay. You don't need these stitch markers anymore. So as you come up to them, if you don't want to have them in your work to separate the 20 stitches, you absolutely can remove them. Just like so, and then you can carry on. If you're ever in doubt whether you just did a knit or a purl, take a look at what's on your left-hand needle. Sometimes it can be a little tricky to see the knits, but if you look and find the purls, it looks like it's a strangled stitch right up next to your knitting needle. So if you see those 2 purls, you'll be like, oh, I purled, I knit. Now I'm going to purl. Bring your yarn between the needles to the front and then purl. Between the needles to the back, and then knit all the way down. Let's go ahead and get down to the end of this row and turn our work. When you get to the end of the row, like I said, you should end with 2 knits. So you will turn your work. Remember, we are not working in the round. We're using the circular needles to accommodate the number of stitches we are using. You will turn your work. And we're essentially going to knit the knits and purl the purls. So if you see 2 purls, you know you're going to purl, purl. You see 2 knits, you're going to knit, knit. As you continue on with this, you'll start to get some really great columns of knits and purls, and it will be easier for you. Okay, let's go ahead. I'm going to pause here for a second. I'm going to have you take a look at what I have built up here. And hopefully you can see I'm starting to get columns of knits right here. Okay, and then you can see a column of purl right here, knits, purls, and I continue going, okay? You will continue working this knit to purl to ribbing for the distance written in the pattern. Once you get the ribbing done for the front or the back, whichever one you're working on, go and do the ribbing for the other side of the vest. We're going to do back and forth just like this throughout the project as much as we possibly can. It just makes the whole construction part of it so much easier, and you're more likely to finish your project because you won't get tired of it. It's like, oh, I can't wait to see what's going on. So let's get through our ribbing for both the front and the back, and then we will carry on to the body of the vest where we will learn the fantastic window pattern. It's very, very easy. It's just knits and purls and that are separated with some garter stitch bands. So we'll learn the window pattern, and you will be instructed to go on and finish that portion of the vest as well. But for now, let's finish this ribbing. All right, you go do yours. I'm going to do mine, and we'll meet up here and let's see how well I did matching up the colors. I mean, hopefully it's really good. I don't know. We'll see. Your guess is as good as mine right now.